This week on One Crazy Story, comedian Ricarlo Flanagan joins us to talk about why he'll never eat edible marijuana again.
Then I start throwing up all over the floor, man. And all I hear is this girl in the background. Oh my God! Oh my God! I'm just throwing up, bro. It look like you ever see that episode of Family Guy?
Yeah,
man.
He's throwing up everywhere.
Like I'm just throwing up. Yeah, bro.
Oh
I'm throwing up
everywhere. Hello and welcome to another edition of One Crazy Story. I'm your host, Nate Armbruster, and this week I'm talking with comedian Ricarlo Flanagan. You may know Ricarlo from Last Comic Standing, Season 8 of Shameless, and you'll soon be able to see him in the HBO series Insecure, so make sure you look for him on that. Ricarlo's a very funny comedian. He's from Cleveland, but I met him when he started comedy in Detroit. We started about the same time, I think, but Ricarlo has since moved to LA, and he's doing big things, and he's a great friend, and he's very, very, very funny. So I hope if this is your first time hearing of Ricarlo, you follow him, become a fan, because you'll be seeing him more and more on TV. I guarantee you that. And so if you get a chance to see him live, you might want to do it soon before you have to take out a loan to be able to afford a ticket to see the guy. So you'll definitely love him. He's got an album out. It's available on iTunes. You can stream it on all the platforms, everywhere you can find comedy albums. So if you like Ricarlo, make sure you get in touch with him. All of his social media and links are in the description to this episode, so make sure you go check him out. Also, if you like the show, make sure you follow the show and me on all the social media at Nate Comedy or at One Crazy Story, NateArmbruster.com. Subscribe on iTunes, everything, iHeartRadio, Spotify, listen everywhere, tell your friends about it, leave a 5-star review if you so care. That'd be fantastic. It really helps the show. Thank you guys so much for listening. Now enjoy this week's episode with myself and comedian Ricarlo Flanagan. I remember the last big thing you had going on TV-wise was Shameless.
Yeah, I don't even know how to answer that question. Should I answer it like I'm a seasoned actor, or should I answer it like some guy who just got lucky? I don't know, but that's what I feel like, really. Mm-hmm. It's just it wasn't like it wasn't my first TV thing. I had did a couple things prior to that. I had got on the Mick. The Mick was, I think, my first. No. Walk the Prank, actually, which is a Disney show. That was the first one episode that I had did. And then they actually ended up bringing me back about 8 times to that show.
I didn't know about that. Believe it or not, I'm not up on my Disney shows.
Yeah, that's a little bit out your age group, that show.
But it's still badass, though. I mean, that's really cool. Was that the security guard? I remember seeing pictures of you in like a police outfit.
yeah, that's what I played. Well, this was different because usually I play like a nightclub bouncer or something like that, or like a security guard in a grocery store or something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For sure. But this time I was a school security guard, so the whole school knew. So it was like a different type of role, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it was pretty cool because like I was mainly just the comic relief as the security guard, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's awesome. So you got to be the funny guy, you got to do comedy still.
Yeah, basically. Exactly. That's exactly what I wanted. That's all that you ever really want as a comic, to get roles where you can kind of show your chops, you know what I mean? And they offered me that opportunity. So that was the first thing. And then I got the Mick, which I played a security guard at a baseball game. And then the Carmichael Show was prime time, you know what I'm saying?
And that would have been, but that they canceled it right before, or I should say discontinued it right before you were about to show up on it, right?
The season I was on, once they had finished shooting, while they were airing that season, they had announced that it wouldn't be coming back to NBC now, but nobody knows if he's done with it. I think it was just like, we're not going to air anymore here, but it could be one of the things where it comes back later, which I think it will.
I love that show. I thought it was so funny.
Yeah, it was a great show. It was very well written. The casting was great. Like anytime you got David Allen Greer and Loretta Devine,
dude, they're so good as a couple.
Yeah, bro. That's a really good, that's a good job casting.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, and
Like,
of course, we want to talk about great casting, including Ricarlo and Flanagan into it as well.
Man, threw me in there amongst legends that I don't belong around. So yeah, that was that.
Did you get to meet with them before?
Yeah. So that show they record in front of a live studio audience. And so they have to basically rehearse. So it's kind of like doing a play in a sense.
Okay.
And so they shoot two shows. They'll shoot an early and a late show. So you got to basically perform in front of a studio audience. And so they also do a table read twice. So they'll meet up in the makeup room where everybody's getting spruced up and, they'll go through the script. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was a funny story because I saw it was a run through, so I didn't really give like my best performance.
Yeah.
So like I was just kind of reading it, going through the motions, and Little Rail was sitting across from me, and he started yarning while I was doing my part.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Now that's a dude.
In front of everybody too.
Yeah, because he himself is so funny. I feel like in that room, it's still kind of like, I mean, it's got to just be laughing. You know, do you guys even get through it?
Yeah, I mean, well, the laughing was just mainly like before they even start doing the table read. So they laughing, just having general conversation.
That's awesome.
And when you amongst that level of talent, because see, you got to remember, I'm in a room with Little Rail, David Allen Greer, Tiffany Haddish, Loretta Devine.
Holy shit.
And Gerard Carmichael. I'm sitting there, in my outfit. I just left makeup. I'm getting my hair cut. So I'm looking around at them like, yo, I'm not on these guys' level at all. So even though I am a comedian, like I wasn't even trying to contribute at all because I'm just feeling outclassed.
Yeah.
At this, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, you're like, I'm just trying to, just get my job done right. Because I feel like in entertainment in general, there's a little bit of competitiveness in a way where you're like, okay, I want to be the funniest guy on the show, in the room, whatever. But you're like, nah, I mean, I'm not even gonna shoot for that because well, fucking look at who I'm sitting across the table from. Just get your lines right and know where to stand, and they'll ask me back because it'll go fine. You know it's going to be great.
Bro, super nervous. Talk about, that was the most nervous I've probably ever been. Like, I really, I don't think my balls got back to regular size until the next day, probably.
Isn't it kind of surreal, too, though? You're like, party has got to be like once it was over, it's just like, oh, thank God, and it went well, and, it was a good experience. That's good. And that's a good sign too, because you're like, oh man, there's a reason I'm in the room with these people. That might not be, you might not be David Allen Greer yet.
Scared to talk, like scared. I've watched that dude growing up. Like I watched him live in color on my shitty little black and white TV I had in my room. You know what I'm saying? At home, like. Yeah, that was such a surreal. Like, I was nervous to even talk to him. Like, I went up to him and shook his hand and everything, but like, I'm like, yo, I'm like, I seen Loretta Devine in so many movies. Like, I was really nervous, man, and like, but they did make me feel at home, and they was real cool and everything. But that was that part of that little Rail yarning at me because I wasn't really fully giving my effort. It's like that's a memory I have forever. You know what I'm saying?
Did he overdo it too? Was he like, like,
yeah, it was because that was the point. He was letting me know I was boring him.
Oh, it's hilarious.
You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. Like he cool people.
No,
man.
He's just funny. Cool people, he's just like, that fucking funny.
Yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? But like
awesome.
it was. I think one of the writers was sitting right there, or one of the staff people, and they were like trying to compose themselves and not laugh at me. But the way he did it tickled her so much that she couldn't hold back. So
That's awesome, dude. Well, I'm so happy that you're getting some success out there, because I mean, not a lot of people even get in the room.
Oh, thanks, bro.
And so that's exciting stuff. So the last time you were on the show, we talked about that one night stand, and I mean, shoot, that was already a few years ago. But this time,
that's a long time ago.
So anyway, I want to hear about this edible situation. So when When did this happen? So you just now, because you're in California where, I mean, you know, weed is recreationally legal. So, I mean, anybody can just get it.
Sure.
I mean, it's more accessible than ever now to the general public.
Yeah, definitely. And I actually, you know, being from the Midwest, coming from Cleveland, living in Michigan, I never really like mess with weed or like that. You know what I'm saying? Plus, I grew up, you know, religious, so like I didn't really mess with weed or like that. And then when I got to the West Coast, I got a circle of friends, and you know what I'm saying, that was part of their regular program.
Yeah.
And so they introduced me to, you know, all types of strands, and it was levels to weed that I didn't even know existed, you know, being out here. Because when I was out here, they was just starting to kind of break ground on, you know, the medicinal. So I've seen it, like I've seen a dispensary, but, you know, I hadn't really seen the levels of it till I got to Cali. And some of the homies out there, they like, you know, introduced me to it. But it was my birthday, actually, and we had just got off work. They was like, hey, man, yeah, we're going to take you out, you know. And I'm like, all right, cool. So we in the car. We had already smoked, I think, maybe a blunt or two, if I'm not mistaken.
So being someone that isn't, you know, very, I guess, just isn't really into weed. I mean, you don't smoke it every day. This is just like a night out. And you're like, are you real sensitive to it? Did you get way too high off of the, you know, the first couple of hits that you took with that night?
Okay, yes. to make a long story short, yes. So, because I had already smoked, and that what we smoked, it wasn't no dirt weed. It was, you know, it was powerful. You know what I'm saying? So I was already probably playing with fire, smoking that. But I had this edible basically, and this edible was it was a brownie.
Oh,
but
man.
Bro, it was the size of like a graham crack, it looked like you ever see Cinnamon Toast Crunch? You ever see those little cinnamon toast, the flakes there? It was basically that size, and I popped it. And they told me, soon as I looked at it, I was like, I can handle this little shit. So I throw it in my mouth. You know, and they like, oh man, you should have just did half. I was like, half of this? That little shit ain't gonna do nothing to me, man. I'm in the car, man. Next thing I know, bro, it's just like there's been a couple times like I smoked and like, you know, like you wanted to stop, like you so high, you immediately like, oh
no, this isn't good.
It's like being on a ride that you want to get off.
Yeah, but you can't. That's the thing. It's like, what do I do? So you're already way too high, and then you eat this. So you're like double. This is
the thing
like,
was, I could handle the high I was on before the edible.
Yeah.
That was nothing. Like that, I was normal. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm ready to go. But like over the course of going from sitting in the car where we were smoking to driving to the bar, we gonna get like a little drink or something and just kick it. I'm on the way there while we sitting in the car. I immediately zoned out. Like I'm immediately melting into the seat, looking up at the sky. Like I'm like, and then when we get out the car, I'm like, I walk normal to the spot. You know, we get in there, I get my drink. It's nothing really like crazy happening. You know what I'm saying? Like I order my usual drink. Like we toasted up. I'm like, yeah, you know, happy birthday, blah, 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 blah. And then next thing I know, man, we went and sat over on the side, and I just literally left the conversation. Whatever they was talking about, they probably was talking to me too.
Oh, my God.
But I just went and sat down. Like I immediately just went and sat in a chair. And then I'm like sitting there like, oh, man. I'm like, yo, I feel good right now. Like I feel like super good. Mm-hmm. Then I look up, man, and I'm literally watching myself fly around the room. Like I feel like I'm flying.
Man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then they looking at me, and I'm looking at them. I'm like, y'all don't see this shit? And they like, see what? And I'm like, oh, nothing, man. Nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like I had to play it off as if I didn't just ask them if they saw me floating around in the air like I see me floating around in the air. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. So you're messed up. And they're all just having a good time. They're all under control.
All under control, bro. And then we went into another bar. So we went from there to another bar, bro. When we got up and left that place, I don't even remember how I got in the car. I just remember being in the car and like I'm just looking at the door, and I was just like, "Oh my God,
I'm dying.
Like, this is crazy right now."
Did it? And it felt good though. You felt good. You weren't like you weren't like puking or anything.
No, I just couldn't like.
You just
I could
couldn't
not
function.
really speak. Like I wasn't talking at all. Like I'm just I'm dreaming, bro. I'm dreaming. Like I'm just thinking of all kind of crazy stuff. Then we get to the bar. I'm like, man, I really want this to stop. Like I'm not talking. I'm silent. I'm just asking for water. Like, and I could see the bartender looking at me, and he knew something was up with me because, first of all, you know, for people listening, you got to realize that I'm not a small dude. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. I can see why you would think a small brownie wouldn't affect you in any way.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, man, I'm like, you know, I mean, I haven't seen you in a while, so I'm like, but I would imagine though, I would feel the same way where it's like, we'll just eat this little, it's just like a little bite size. You're like, this will be nothing.
Yeah, exactly. It's nothing, but it was everything.
It's like drinking. You're like, man, I can have another. You know, I can drive. I'm 200 pounds. I can handle this.
Yeah.
This is fine.
Yeah, and then you drink that drink or you eat that little small brownie, and then it comes later. Because weed is a lot like wine, where you drink wine up front, you know, you don't really feel it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like there's drinks you feel like you drink rum and coke or vodka, tequila, something like that. The effects of that is immediate.
Yeah, you know immediately.
You know
even when you first started smoking too, it's like immediate there, but that edible probably didn't kick in for what, a half hour?
Yeah, because it's not poison. That's the difference. When you drink alcohol, that's poison. So the poison hits you immediately.
Mm-hmm.
But weed is not poison. Weed is more natural. So that is actually going to be in tune with your bloodstream. It's going to go in tune with your body as a whole. So you're going to feel it differently. You know what I'm saying? Like it's going to be a different effect.
Yeah.
You know, like wine. Wine is made of grapes. There's there's a little bit of alcohol content in it, but it's like, that you can see the different effect of wine versus straight liquor.
There's definitely a difference. I don't know. I at least I'm this way. If I'm drinking, depending on the type of alcohol, if wine, liquor, rum, beer, they all affect me differently. It's crazy.
Yeah, bro. It's they say pick your poison. That's the reason why.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So you get to the second bar and you're just chugging waters. The bartender's looking at you like, what's going on with you?
Bro, I drink like 5 pitchers of water, man.
Did he ask if you were all right, or did anybody other than your friends like talk to you or try to, if you remember that is?
He tried to make a joke with me, and I was just looking at him like, and I laughed on the inside, but I was just like, I'm just shaking my head at him like, bro, I can't right now communicate. And in my head, but it was a bunch of shit going on in my head, bro. Like I'm mentally like, I'm hearing the best beats that I've ever heard in my life. Like I'm imagining making these tracks like, yo, if I could make this beat, it would be so hard. Then I'm thinking of rhymes, like I'm writing rhymes in my head, like, I'm just listening to rhymes, just like I'm in the vibe, like I'm vibing, I'm in a zone, you know what I'm saying? And like, I'm just enjoying the scenery a little bit. My friends laughing at me and I interact a little bit, but then they noticed that I was gone though.
Yeah.
That's when they noticed, you know what I'm saying? And so they just kept giving me water, and like Joe kept saying, yeah, man, you probably might want to drink some milk or something. And I'm like, drink milk? I don't want no damn milk, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, and first of all, we at the bar, like, where am I going to get some milk from? You want me to go to the store? I'm not walking up out of here. I'm not getting up off this chair right now. You know what I'm saying?
I'm imagining you saying this though, but like completely messed up. Like you can't even, like, it probably came out way less coherent that night.
Oh man, like I'm stumbling, bumbling, bro.
You're
Like the
speaking
old
in
boy from
tongues.
ESPN say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just stumbling and bumbling. Just be what it man. So the night, man. Fast forward to we about to leave because we had,
Yeah. It was time to
we
go.
we had been there for a minute, which I
Yeah.
thought we was there for like 3-4 hours. We was only there like an hour and a half. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, time is different when you're under the influence like that.
Man, it's crazy. So we about to leave, right? We at the bar. Joe gets, and there was another cat there named Junior. Now Junior sitting next to me. They drunk all the drinks that people was giving me drinks. I think they said it was my birthday or something. So people was like giving me shots.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
man.
No. Yeah.
But I wasn't drinking them because I'm like, I ain't getting no higher than I am now. You know what I'm saying? And then, they had one more drink because they had drank the other ones, and I was waving my hand like, nah, I'm good. And they like, nah, man, we drank all these other ones. You gotta take this shot, man. I get that shot, I swallow it, bro. I'm talking that liquor gets to the tip of my throat, and I get the projectiles throwing up everywhere, bro.
Oh my God, just everywhere in the bar.
In the bar, I'm throwing up all that water I drank.
Oh my God.
I threw up on the homie Juniors. I threw up on him. I turned around and I threw up on him, and all I hear is him going, "Hey man, you done threw up on my clothes, man." Because he's from the South, you know what I'm saying? So I threw up on him. Then I start throwing up all over the floor, man. And all I hear is this girl in the background. Oh my God! Oh my God! I'm just throwing up, bro. It look like you ever see that episode of Family Guy? Where,
yeah,
man.
Stewie's throwing up everywhere.
Like. I'm just throwing up. Yeah, bro. I'm throwing up
everywhere. And so you hit Junior, and you're all over the floor, all over the table, everything. Are people are people pissed?
The bartender was just staring at me. All the people around me, they kept backing up. Like it was like crazy town, and like it was just like, yeah, it was crazy, bro. Like everybody was just panicking because it's big, you see a big ass dude just throwing up everywhere, and I'm talking
you're a big
it was
dude.
A lot, bro.
Yeah, you're a big dude. There's a lot, and all of the fluids you've consumed that night coming out
everywhere, everywhere, bro. I'm talking, I'm projectile throwing up, and it was like a lot of liquid, and you know what I'm saying? Like it was just, it was a lot. It was a lot, and man, I was so done because I was outside laughing, and I remember Junior's like, man, I don't even understand what you was throwing up because all you had was liquor. You ain't even eat nothing. You know what I'm saying? And,
you're like, I ate that edible. Had I not eaten that, I probably wouldn't be throwing up on you. That's so funny.
Bruh, I'm talking throwing up everywhere. And it wasn't even over. It got worse from that point.
Oh, did it? Because I was going to say, did it feel bad? Did you feel better after that at all in any way? At least you're high?
No, man. No, I was even higher. Like,
oh my God.
Because I couldn't even. So basically, I drove over Joe's crib, but I was so high they had to take me. They had to go back, get my car, drive my car back to the house, and drop me off so I wouldn't drive home because I was like, I'm not driving back like this. Like I'll be tripping if I. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was like, no, I'm good. So man, bro, I started like, I'm in the car. I don't even know what I said in the car. Like, Joe dropped me off, and I probably started talking about life because that's when I get lifted, bro. Like I start thinking, like it makes me think, or I start reflecting on life, or you know what I'm saying? I start thinking about everything as a whole. I become real philosophical. Like all that stuff was probably going on. Then when they got me to the house, I stumbled in the crib, and I just went straight to bed. Like I ain't speak to nobody. Now keep in mind, when I walk out the bar, rather, I'm thinking it's, 12 a.m., because it was dark outside, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking we was in that bar for hours. Bro, it was 5:30.
Holy shit.
In the afternoon.
Holy shit, really? Dude, it was only 5:30?
It was only 5:30 in the afternoon.
Oh, my God.
I went to bed. You understand?
Yeah.
Went to bed, knocked out sleep, having the wildest dreams ever, bro. Like, I'm talking the nastiest, wildest dreams. Like, I'm just laying in the bed, and like, I'm in my head. I feel like I'm turning into cubes. You ever seen that video game Cubert?
Mm-hmm.
Where like you got those little Tetris blocks. Like I felt like I was pixelating. Like that's what I was imagining.
Dude,
and,
you were
like,
messed up.
I was gone, bro. I'm in this coma. Like then I would just snap out of it. Like I snapped out of it, and I woke up and I was like, oh man, I was tripping, bro. So I went in the kitchen. And my roommate was in there making these quesadillas. It was just like these little tortillas with cheese. And he saw I was so tore up. And I'm like, yo, I got to go get some food, man. Because I hadn't eaten. I had just threw up. So I was empty. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, man, I got to go get food. So I'm on my way to walk out the door. He's like, hey, hold on, man. You don't need to be walking around like that, man. So I'm making some quesadillas. So, bro, he started making quesadillas. Like, he made like 10 of them. I ran through them quesadillas, bro. Yeah. I'm talking, like, I don't even remember taking them off the plate. I just remember gobbling them. You know what I'm saying?
God. I love the impression of the roommate. It's fucking great.
Yeah, that's how he's talking. He's like, come on, man, I'll go outside, man. You look under the influence, man. He's like, yeah, I'll just make these quesadillas, man. I'm making them anyway. I ate about 12 of them, bro. I'm pretty sure.
12 quesadillas, that'll fix it. Did you feel better after that?
Like at the moment I did, I started licking my fingers. We was having a deep conversation, and I just walked off and went to bed.
Mid sentence, like, I'm going to bed.
Yeah.
So wait,
walk right off.
And that was what, at 6:30, 7?
I had to sleep for a few hours. So I think that was like 8:30, 9 o'clock, man. Or something like that.
Wow. Did you sleep all through the night? How long did it take before you were back to normal, at least from what you remember?
The next day at 4 o'clock. I went back to bed, and I woke up at 6 a.m. I'm sorry, I had to be to work at 6. So
you had to work the next day?
I had to work the next day.
Oh, my God, dude. How was that? The worst hangover?
It was ridiculous. I didn't have a hangover or anything like that, but I was still kind of listed. Mm-hmm. But I knew I had to be to work. And I just got up and put on a shirt and went right to work. I didn't even take a shower or nothing.
Yeah. They're like, why did Ricarlo Uber to work today?
Yeah. Why does he have on the same pants and shoes that he had on yesterday?
Oh, my God. Did you work with those guys you went to the bar with?
One of them, yeah.
Yeah. So did you see him the next day?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. How was he doing?
Oh, he was laughing at me.
Yeah, man. Oh my God, I couldn't imagine.
I see you made it in. I'm like, I did. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Yeah.
That's amazing, man. Yeah, man. I'm glad you made it through, man. Have you had any edibles since?
No, I haven't touched one.
Yeah, you don't have any desire to. That was enough.
No,
one and done.
I'm just good. Yeah, mm-hmm. I'm good, bro. I'm straight.
That's good. Yeah. I know what works for me. I know what, and I'm good. I know what makes me not projectile vomit all over the bar.
Yeah. There's a bar full of strangers.
Man, and what birthday was that? What were you, 30?
Let's see. That was in 2000 and I want to say 13.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So he's like 5 years ago. So, man, you've been in LA for a while.
Yeah, man.
That's crazy, man. Time flies. Holy shit.
Yeah, I do.
So, anything coming up you want to share? You got a website where people can find you at, social media, all that stuff?
Find me on social media, man. I'm at Father Flanagan on everything. That's FATHER FLANAGN. Because somebody took the full spelling, so it's Father Flanagan, Flanagen.
That's such bullshit.
Oh,
dude. Well, I'll make sure I'll make sure I tag you and put all links up where people can find you and all of that stuff. And you got an album out too. I'll make sure I know it's probably older. It's a few years old, right? But
yeah, that's an old album. That's
but it's
my
good
first
though.
one.
It's good though. It's good for people to check you out, and support you. So,
yeah, I appreciate it, man. Look out for me. I'll be on this season of Insecure on one episode coming up. So
hell yeah, and season 8 of Shameless. You can see Ricarlo Flanagan. It's on Netflix now.
Yeah. You can if you go to Netflix right now. Season 8 of Shameless is streaming. You'll see me on 4 episodes actually. The first 3 episodes and episode 6.
Hell yeah,
see
buddy.
Somebody who looks just like me on there.
Good shit, man. Dude, I appreciate you so much for doing this. Thank you.
Oh man, thanks for having me, bro. My pleasure, man. Anytime.